To retire at 65 with $1 million, you need to invest roughly $470 per month starting at 25. To retire at 40 with the same spending power and fund 50 years of retirement instead of 20, you need approximately $2.7 million. That number is not optional math. It is the cost of buying back 25 years of your life. And the gap between those two paths, what each one actually requires, month by month, starting today, is what most early retirement content never runs honestly. We are running it right now. Let us set up both scenarios completely before we compare them, because the inputs matter as much as the outputs. You are 25 years old. You need $50,000 per year in retirement income in today's dollars. A reasonable middle-class retirement. Using the 4% withdrawal rule, which is the standard financial planning benchmark based on the Trinity study and widely cited by Vanguard and Fidelity as a sustainable long-term withdrawal rate, you need a portfolio of $1.25 million to support $50,000 per year. That rule says, withdraw 4% of your starting balance annually and adjust for inflation. And historically, a diversified portfolio has survived 30-plus year retirements without running out of money. You have 40 years to build $1.25 million. At 8% average annual return in a low-cost S&P 500 index fund, investing $470 per month from age 25 to age 65 gets you there. Total out-of-pocket contributions, approximately $225,600 over 40 years. Final balance, approximately $1.25 million. The market contributed roughly $1.02 million on top of your contributions. Your money more than quintupled through compounding alone. Same spending target, $50,000 per year. But now you need to fund 50 years of retirement, from age 40 to age 90. The 4% rule was designed for 30-year retirements. For a 50-year retirement, most financial planners recommend dropping to a 3.5% or even 3% withdrawal rate to reduce sequence of returns risk. The danger that a market downturn in your first 5 years of retirement permanently damages the portfolio. Using 3.5%, you need $50,000 divided by 0.035, which equals approximately $1.43 million. Using the more conservative 3%, $50,000 divided by 0.03, which equals $1.67 million. For this comparison, we will use the middle estimate of $1.5 million as the early retirement target. You have 15 years to build $1.5 million, from age 25 to age 40. At 8% average annual return, reaching $1.5 million in 15 years requires investing approximately $4,000 per month. Total contributions, approximately $720,000. The market adds roughly $780,000. Final balance, $1.5 million. But here is the critical thing. You are now spending down a smaller portfolio over a longer period, with no Social Security before age 62 at the earliest, no Medicare before 65, and no employer-provided health insurance for 25 years. The monthly investment gap between the two paths, $3,530 per month. The contribution gap over the working years, approximately $494,400 more to invest for early retirement. The $1.5 million portfolio target for retiring at 40 assumes your spending is $50,000 per year. But that assumption collapses the moment you price out what health insurance actually costs, without an employer covering 70% of the premium. In 2026, the average ACA Marketplace health insurance premium for a 40-year-old on a silver plan runs approximately $550 to $700 per month, approximately $6,600 to $8,400 per year, before you account for out-of-pocket costs, deductibles, and dental and vision coverage that marketplace plans typically exclude or limit. Over 25 years from age 40 to Medicare eligibility at 65, healthcare premiums alone, even at the lower $6,600 annual estimate, Total approximately $165,000 in lifetime healthcare spending, not included in most early retirement projections. Your real spending target in early retirement is not $50,000 per year. It is approximately $56,600 to $58,400 per year once healthcare is included. Recalculate the portfolio requirement at 3.5%. $56,600 divided by 0.035 equals approximately $1.62 million. You now need $120,000 more in your portfolio than the initial estimate, and the monthly contribution to reach $1.62 million in 15 years at 8% is approximately $4,325, not $4,000. There is a second cost most early retirement models undercount: inflation over a 50-year retirement. At 3% annual inflation, which is the historical average, per Bureau of Labor Statistics data, $50,000 in spending today requires $116,000 in purchasing power by year 30 and $209,000 by year 50. That growth is theoretically handled by investing the portfolio for continued growth during retirement. But it means the margin for error in a 50-year portfolio is far narrower than in a 20-year one. A few bad early years, a sequence of return event in the first decade, or an unexpected major expense, a health event, a home repair, a family emergency, can force a permanent adjustment to your withdrawal rate that 65-year-old retirees with Social Security income do not face in the same way. A 65-year-old retiree drawing Social Security at full retirement age in 2026 receives an average of approximately $1,907 per month, $22,884 per year. That income is government guaranteed, adjusted for inflation annually, and requires zero portfolio balance to sustain. It covers 46% of the $50,000 annual spending target entirely outside the investment portfolio. The early retiree at 40 has no version of this until 62 at the earliest. And even then, filing at 62 reduces the benefit by approximately 30% compared to waiting until 67. Sequence of returns risk is the single largest mathematical threat to early retirement. It describes what happens when a significant market decline occurs in the early years of your withdrawal period, permanently shrinking the pool of money you have left to compound for the remaining decades. Here is a concrete example. You retire at 40 with $1.5 million. In year 2, the market drops 35%, a crash comparable in scale to 2008 or early 2020. Your portfolio drops to approximately $975,000 after factoring in your year 1 and year 2 withdrawals of $50,000 each. You now have $975,000 needing to support 48 more years of retirement. To sustain that on a 3.5% withdrawal rate, you can only withdraw $34,125 per year, not $50,000. You must either cut spending by 32% immediately, return to work, or allow your portfolio to continue depleting faster than planned. The same market crash hits the 65-year-old retiree. Their portfolio drops to $812,500 after withdrawals, but they are simultaneously receiving $22,884 per year in Social Security, income that does not shrink when the market falls. Their portfolio only needs to cover approximately $27,116 per year in spending after Social Security, and they have a 20-year retirement ahead rather than 48. The math of sequence risk is dramatically less punishing when the portfolio is covering a smaller share of total retirement income over a shorter timeline. This is why the standard advice for early retirees is to build a cash buffer of 1 to 3 years of expenses before retiring. Approximately $50,000 to $150,000 held in a high-yield savings account outside the investment portfolio, so that a market crash in year 1 does not force selling equities at the bottom. That buffer adds $50,000 to $150,000 to the capital requirement for early retirement before you invest a single dollar. Updated early retirement target including healthcare adjustment and 1-year cash buffer. Approximately $1.67 million to $1.77 million in total liquid assets, compared to the original $1.5 million estimate. The honest version of this comparison is not a binary choice between grinding until 65 or achieving full financial independence by 40. For most people, there is a third path that captures most of the lifestyle gain from early retirement, while dramatically reducing the portfolio requirement and the savings intensity. Retire at 50. From age 25 to age 50, you have 25 years to build a portfolio. Your retirement covers 40 years, from 50 to 90. Using a 3.5% withdrawal rate for safety over a longer retirement, the portfolio requirement for $50,000 in annual spending is still $1.43 million. Healthcare before Medicare is 15 years, rather than 25. Approximately $99,000 in total premiums at current rates. Cash buffer of 1 year, $50,000. Total capital target, approximately $1.53 million. To reach $1.53 million in 25 years, at 8% annual return, you need to invest approximately $1,600 per month. Total contributions over 25 years, approximately $480,000. Market contribution, approximately $1.05 million. Compare that to the Retire at 40 path, $4,325 per month, 15 years, $720,000 plus in contributions. The Retire at 50 path requires $2,725 less per month than the Retire at 40 path. It buys back 15 years of your life compared to retiring at 65, 15 fewer years of obligatory work, at a fraction of the capital cost of retiring at 40. And it still covers 40 years of retirement, avoids 15 years of healthcare uncertainty instead of 25, and is close enough to Social Security eligibility at 62 that a partial benefit is within reach within 12 years of stopping work. For most people with median household incomes, $1,600 per month is achievable. $4,325 per month is not, without dramatic income or lifestyle changes. The Retire at 50 path is the version of this analysis that is actually available to a broad audience, and most FIRE content does not spend enough time on it. Let us end with the concrete monthly requirement for each path, starting today at age 25 with $0 saved. Retire at 65, $470 per month. Achievable on almost any full-time income, with reasonable budgeting. Requires $225,600 in lifetime contributions. Market does the rest. Retire at $51,600 per month. Requires a household income of roughly $70,000 to $90,000 and a deliberate savings rate of approximately 25% to 30%. Buys back 15 years. Covers 40 years of retirement. Retire at 40. $4,325 per month, adjusted for healthcare and cash buffer. Requires a household income above $130,000 and a savings rate of roughly 35% to 40% of gross income over 15 years. No margin for extended periods of reduced income, major unplanned expenses, or significant market downturns in the early retirement period without a plan adjustment. The math is not trying to discourage anyone from early retirement. It is trying to make sure anyone pursuing it is solving for the real number. $1.6 million to $1.77 million, not $1 million. And has priced in healthcare, inflation over a 50-year window, sequence risk, and the absence of Social Security for 22 to 25 years. Here is the complete picture in one frame. Retiring at 65 requires $470 per month starting at 25. Retiring at 40 requires $4,325 per month, roughly 9 times more monthly investment, and a portfolio of $1.67 million to $1.77 million, not the $1 million most early retirement content anchors to. Retiring at 50 sits in the middle. $1,600 per month. 40 years of retirement funded. 15 years bought back from the standard path. And a requirement most households can actually reach. The number that matters most is not which age you pick. It is whether the monthly contribution required by your target retirement age is a number you can actually sustain through job changes, family expenses, market crashes, and 15 to 40 years of consistent execution. That is the real math. Pick the age that has a monthly number attached to it that you can commit to today. See you in the next video. Connected with us by